Freeze, cold plus water. Let's combine both cold and water elements. If the target is affected by cold or freeze and wet at the same time, both statuses are immediately consumed, and target is completely frozen, and animation stops. They are unable to move, and mobs turns to ice. Freeze lasts for cold remaining duration and remaining duration of wet. Once the enemy is affected by the elements, your strike damage is doubled against frozen targets. If the target dies while frozen, they break apart into ice shards rather than having a regular death animation. Remember, bosses are immune to freeze effects. Next, rooting. Earth plus water, just like in the previous explanation. When a target has both earth and water effects applied, and wet at the same time, both statuses are immediately consumed, and enemy movement is completely disabled. But they can still attack and hurt you if you approach them recklessly. Root lasts for the remaining duration of earth and remaining duration of wet, and deals immediate earth damage equal to Earth DPS multiplied by how long the effect lasts in seconds, x 0.5. Rooting locks the enemy in place and deals some immediate earth damage. Unlike freeze, the target can still attack, they just can't move. Remember, bosses are immune to rooting effects. Now, moving to the next part. Burnout, fire plus air. Always keep in mind that most elemental effects need to hit enemies 2 to 3 times to trigger. Now, if both burning and air weathered are applied to the same target, both status effects are consumed immediately and deals fire damage over 3 rapid ticks over 0.5 seconds. That totaling fire DPS x fire remaining duration plus air remaining duration. Example calculation. This elemental build produces an AoE explosion. All nearby enemies under the effects of fire and burn will sustain continuous damage over time and are easily eliminated. Next, Frostbite, cold plus air. This elemental build is similar to the Burnout combination. It also creates an explosion or AoE attack. When a target has both cold and air effects active, both statuses are immediately used up and turned into cold damage. Split into 3 quick hits over 0.5 seconds. Let's create an example and calculate the total cold damage. If my cold DPS is 10, and my cold duration is 6, and my air duration is 4, let's add the remaining durations. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Multiply by cold DPS. 10 times 10 equals 100 total cold damage. Simply put, Frostbite functions as a cold-based explosion. It releases stored cold buildup in a burst and splashes cold or freeze onto surrounding targets. And this is how Frostbite works. talk about shock. Electricity plus water. Like other elemental builds, shock is also a great choice. It boosts your attack damage through its burst effect, and it works even better when paired with a pierce damage weapon such as a bow. And when combined with the archer's barrage skill, it creates a highly effective mix of pierce damage, dart, and shock elemental damage. Let's try to create an example calculation using this electro burst damage formula. If my electro DPS is 5 dot, and my electro duration is 8, and my wet duration is 12. Now add the durations. 8 plus 12 equals 20, and multiply by DPS. 5 times 20 equals 100. The total electro burst damage is 100. In short, all remaining ticks dot from both effects become one burst of damage. The longer duration left on both effects, the stronger the impact.